Does anybody knows what's going on here?
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
We're going to be assigned to the room for the Zoom,
For the webinar?
meeting.
It is going to be here. We're just going to wait a couple more minutes for more people to join, and then we're going to start it.
All right. Thank you.
Yep. No problem.
Hey everybody. So my name's Jared Habib and I'm from MBS Highway and I'm here today to walk you guys through the platform and show you guys some of the features. I just want to give it another 2 minutes just for everybody to get signed in and then we'll go ahead and get started. So just be patient with me for 2 minutes and then we'll go ahead and get right into it.
Thank you. Thanks.
Okay, everybody, welcome in. Again, my name is Jared Habib. I'm from Highway and I'm gonna be walking you guys through MBS Highway here today. I go ahead and share my screen just so you guys can see there. Should be sharing my screen. Is it sharing my MBS Highway screen? It should be. Okay, great. Can you guys see my screen? If somebody wouldn't mind just coming off mute and just letting me know, just so I could be sure.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Patrick. So, as you guys know, and we have a couple of very exciting things that's kind of makes this meeting here today very important. I'm glad that it's recorded so it can be passed along as well. But we have a bunch of new things that have kind of occurred, and I'm sure as you guys all are aware, and Barry had kind of gone over it on that call a couple of weeks ago. I think it was last week even, and you mentioned that this has kind of been a little bit more of past knowledge, but we had purchased list reports where we have kind of come to terms with them, and now they are part of Highway, as now we are called, and we officially rebranded ourselves as Highway. So I'm sure some of you guys may have been a little confused when you went to log into mbshighway.com and it took you to this page. So I wanted to start here just to kind of clarify just how you get logged in and any of the different processes that need to take place. And to be honest, it's really not much that's going to drastically change. It's just kind of all one location where you guys can access things. And I know this is all new stuff. And also, one thing that you guys should be excited about for, I know some of you guys, I recognize some of the names are new members. And I know some of you guys are also have been existing members at times or even members in the past. But one thing that I am excited to share with you is that we are rolling out a brand new loan comparison. So I'm going to show you guys that here today. And if that's something you want to add, you can actually email support. It's on your membership right now, but we've only started to roll out the new version to people who are asking for it. So if you want kind of our new version at the end of the call, you just reach out to support and they'll add it onto your account. It's not like a cost or anything. It comes with it, but It's just we're slowly rolling out the new version of the loan comparisons. So that's something to be super excited about. And also we have another new tool called Agent Connect, which is kind of in addition on more on like the list report side, but you can also get it separately. So I'm going to show you that and kind of tease that at the end, because that is something you can sign up for a trial for even right now. But I find it important to have the chat box up and everything, so that will be monitored. And if you guys have questions, just feel free to interrupt me and ask, because I know a lot of this is new, and also for a lot of you guys, this is new for you guys to be on MBS Highway. When you go ahead and log in, just click on login right here, and it just basically takes you to what platform you want to go into, whether it's MBS Highway, List Reports, or CMA. But if I just click on MBS Highway, it takes you to your kind of default MBS Highway page, and we are exactly what you guys are seeing every single morning. So to start, this is our landing page. This is our dashboard. A lot of people like to keep this up if they want to monitor the markets, whether it's the bond market, the S&P or the 10-year treasury. Just a couple of additional things that we do have. My webinar that I give you guys today versus the one I may give you guys in a month or say 6 months is never going to be the same. There's always new things that happen. There's always changes that occur. There's changes in the marketplace, and there's always new questions that come up. So the way that some of those can be answered is we have 2 different additional training methods that you guys can access. The first being training webinars. They're little 30-minute segments broken down into, say, candlestick charting or refinance tools. So, if rates come back down, refinance become very popular. Certainly something you guys can access, register for a live one or watch the recording. Additionally to that, we do have help buttons on about 80% of our pages. Some of them are super, simple tools where it's not very complex, so they don't necessarily require it. But the vast majority of our tools will have a help button. And when you click on that, it's like a little 5 to 15-minute video, depending on the tool. And it's Barry or Dan basically giving you an example of that tool. So if it was a buy versus rent comparison, for instance, it'd be Barry or Dan walking you through a buy versus rent scenario. So the reason that's significant is because while I'm going to go over, our marquee tools here with you guys today, what makes this significant is, you may say, oh, what did he say? Or how did he say this? Or how did he go over this? Or you may just want some deeper clarification before you may, walk in with a client. So you can certainly watch those help videos to help you along the way. Where I like to start is, what we see is some of the most important information that you guys are going to get on a day-to-day basis, which is the new daily update. That can be accessed a few different ways. You can see it shows up in our market news here, updates at the top right, top of your screen right here, or you can go to new daily update right in the middle of the screen. And if you click right there, you can see the new daily update for today has been posted. About 5 to 10 minutes, comes out usually between like 9:30 and 11 o'clock Eastern time. Sometimes we have 10 o'clock news on the East Coast, so we'd have to wait for that to come out kind of prior to recording the update. And in case you can't actually watch the video, full depiction of what was said down below, as well as anytime any news comes out, we're going to create a graphic so that way it's a shareable thing on any type of social media platform, as you can see here. These are all catalogs. If you want to go back and check out any of the ones in prior, so just in case you had missed a day, you can always go back and say, oh, what was the morning update for that day, and read about it, or go ahead and watch the video. When the video comes out, you'll get an email letting you know that has been basically has came out for that specific day. A couple of other things I want to mention real quick here is just touching on the markets page. So on the markets page, this is probably where a majority of our traffic goes, just kind of on a day-to-day basis, because a lot of people with second or third monitors, they can just kind of like to keep up the markets page. So if there's something they're kind of unconsciously have it on their second or third monitor, people will watch the markets, kind of be able to understand it that way. But there's certain things that we do offer in addition to just the actual markets itself. We send out text alerts at 9, 12, 2, and 5 Eastern time, updating you on the bond market. That can be adjusted. You can adjust those windows to whatever you would like it to be. Additionally, we do alert to locks. They're indicated by these little triangles here. And those alert to locks basically represent, if we think that lenders are in a position to reprice for the worst, that's when we would issue an alert to lock. You're going to get a phone call, a text message, and if you don't answer, it'll leave you a recording, a voicemail of Barry basically telling you why we are issuing alert to lock at that specific moment. Now, I want to come over and, everything I kind of touched on thus far, you're kind of hands off. You're going to be kind of taking the information, absorbing the information, whether it's watching the webinars, learning about more, or whether it's keeping an eye on the markets or watching the morning update. But what are the tools where you're going to be specifically hands on? And a lot of that's going to take place in this real estate section. And I want to start here at the real estate report card. So I'm going to come and use, there's two different ways you can search for things. There's a classic search, which you can put in your state and county, or there's a smart search. The smart search can consist of an MLS number of an active listing, an address, a county, or a zip code. So I have an MLS number that I had prepared for today's call. So if I go ahead and just click on the green button, what you can see occurs is we're in Monmouth County, New Jersey, under the zip code 07712. And here is our home. I selected New Jersey because that's where myself and part of our MBS Highway offices are located, here in central New Jersey. I hope if anybody else is a fellow tri-state area person, you're not covered too much in some of the Canadian smoke. It's really crazy out here if you guys have heard about that, but it's like an orange sky. But nonetheless, what we're able to do is pull in the MLS number. And when you put in the MLS number, it pulls in the actual listing. So when you see the picture of the house, you can click on the pencil tool. You can see every single picture from that listing is going to populate there. So it makes it super simple when you're creating scenarios like this. It also pulls in the custom home price. So you can see the median home price in the specific city of 07712 is $679,000. However, the custom home price is $589,000. That's what it's currently listed for on the market. And we come next with some appreciation data. So we can look at it historically first. Over the last 63 years, we've averaged 4.36% on average per year. Over the last 10 years, about 4.9%, and about 7 years on average per year over the last 5 years. Now let's take a look at the next year moving forward. We anticipate 2.6% in appreciation, and over the next 5 years, it's cumulative. So you add the next 5 years together, and we have 22% appreciation. So you're somewhere in the neighborhood of 4.3% on average appreciation per year for this specific house. So what we do here is we take that custom home price and we give you a small appreciation scenario. You can take that custom home price, apply the forecast, and your 5-year appreciation gain is $129,000. So your $589,000 home will be worth $718,000 in 5 short years. Now, I don't want you guys to think that the appreciation is going to stay the same always. If I come in here, so the home price right now is $589, but if I come in here and I put a 3 in front of that, now take a look at the appreciation. So it's a $3.5 million home, and obviously that's not going to appreciate at the same values as, say, a $500,000 home. So when you take that into account, the appreciation will always adjust. Just as simple as if you were to have a $250,000 home as well as a $750,000 home. They're not going to appreciate the same, and that is something that will always be contemplated in these scenarios. Then we can take a look at the inventory. So inventory is still tight, only one home for sale for every 1,000 people in this marketplace. It's up 19% year over year, but it is down 3% over the last month. And then we like to highlight some demographics. So I'm sure you guys, if you've seen Barry speak at NexaFest or even on his call last week, the median age for a first-time home buyer is 33 years old. And if you take out, I think you mentioned this last week, but if you were to take out all cash deals, I think over half the purchases, or just under half of the purchases that take place, are first-time home buyers. And what makes it significant is that 27 to 35 population. So if I come over to the right side of our screen, we can see household formation. So if you were to ask you, well, what's the formation of a household? That would simply be, if I had a son or daughter, they moved out and they went ahead and they purchased or rented a new home, they're still forming a household either way. There's still moving into that dwelling. However, let's just say you're an existing homeowner. If you sell your house right now and you buy a new house, or you can even be an existing renter. Let's just say, for the sake of this example, if you're an existing owner and you sell your house and you buy a new one, is there any net change in inventory? And the answer is no, because somebody else lives in your previous home and you now live in a new home. And the way we can contemplate that is the first-time home purchases to be taken from inventory, because they're not giving anything back. They're either moving out with mom and dad, or maybe it's a couple that happened to, split up. And that is 5,000. And you compare that to the actual homes being built of 2311, and you can see we're not even halfway to the amount of supply that we need to fit the demand in this marketplace. Then we see the employment situation kind of at the bottom of our screen here. 271,000 people working in this area. The unemployment rate is 4.5%. Median household income is strong at almost $13,000. And then we come here to the affordability index. The way you read the affordability index is as a percentage. It basically reflects, well, if you're earning the median household income, how much of the median home price can you afford? So if you are earning $113,000, you can afford 114% of the median home price with 20% down in your specific county. So I've created this real estate report card. I've, created this potentially for my client, or I want to work with my realtor on this. And how can I now share this? Is this brandable? And the answer is yes. And there's two ways you can do so. The first is the save and share, which I'm going to show you on the next tool here coming up. We first have our traditional export. Traditional export, I can add a co-brand partner, do this in English or Spanish. If I click on continue, download this as a PDF. Click on the PDF right here. You can see here's my real estate report card. Here's myself, my information. And here it'd be your realtor, their information, and your co-branded real estate report card down below. This, of course, can be shared, emailed, printed, whatever you want to do, whether you want to take it in person, look at it on your mobile device. It's completely interactive, however you want to use it. Next, I'm going to come to the real estate section, and I'm going to go to the buy versus rent comparison. I would imagine this is going to be something you guys are going to be utilizing a lot. I'm not going to say that myself, the going rate probably somewhere between 6.5%, 6.75%. My sister Nicole, she's a loan officer, so we're able to communicate like that. But by no means would I ever want to kind of like say what the rates are. But right now, in the position that we are in, a buy versus rent scenario is certainly something that is extremely realistic and always something that's very important. So we take this purchase value of $589,000. We come here to the renting section and a $589,000 home in Monmouth County, New Jersey. So just before getting further, Amy asked a question, how did you get that to print what you pulled on the property? So if you wanted it to print, Amy, you can do Control P, which would print the screen that you're on, or I think there's a little print icon at the top right of the PDF when you share it. So I hope that answers it. But if you want to kind of just finick with that and kind of see if you're able to do that, you can always reach out to me and I can always walk you through it as well. So we come to the renting section here. So a $589,000 home would rent for about $4,000 in Monmouth County, New Jersey, $60 in renter's insurance, and the average annual rent increase in Monmouth County is 5%. The national average is about 8%. Then we come to the property right here. And the property itself is 1203 First Avenue in Asbury Park, New Jersey. And again, we still have the same purchase price, $12,500 annual property tax, $172 in monthly home insurance, 2% annual property tax increase, $245 in repairs and HOA fees per month, and a 6% cost to sell. Now we come to the loan section here. We have a $530,000 loan amount, which indicates they're putting 10% down. You can click in the box and select if they have a direct down payment here. Otherwise, you can always type in the box as well what their exact down payment is. 30-year fixed rate is 6.75%, and they're never going to refinance in this scenario. Monthly mortgage insurance is $203, and the closing costs are just about $12,000 in this specific instance. They're going to be in this house for 9 years before selling here. Taking a look at the home ownership section, Monmouth County, New Jersey. You can toggle between forecasted and historical appreciation. Potentially want to be a little bit more conservative, you can certainly use the historical, or if you want to use the forecast for the ongoing 9 years that we are forecasting, you can certainly do that as well. Then we have your tax rate. How you determine that? Very simple. Just click in the box and the incomes will pop up. Just select whatever income they fall under. And then lastly, what's their filing status? They'll get a larger tax benefit, say if they were single versus married filing jointly, for instance. So we've kind of come up with how the scenario gets created. Now, the important aspect is, well, what does this all mean? What does this translate to? So if we come here and buying that house at year one, you have your monthly P&I, your principal, your property taxes and interest, your maintenance and repairs that we included. That gets you to a monthly cash flow of $5,100. So if you were to rent that home, you're only paying your rental payment and the $60. And that gets you a monthly expense of $4,031. So you're $1,073, if my math is appropriate there, better off by renting that home, right? Per month. It's $1,000 better rent per month. That's what everybody sees. And even over 9 years, you can see, well, it takes until past year 7. It takes until year 7 until your rent finally becomes more expensive. And overall, that leaves you a cash flow difference of $28,000. So my question to you guys is, well, when you're making your mortgage payment, there's principal and interest. So what happens with that principal? It's your own money. Barry gives this example all the time. He gave this example at NexaFest. He had $100. If it was in his left pocket and he took it out of his left pocket and he put it in his right pocket, is it still your money? The answer is yes. It's just in a different location. In this case, it's an equity in your home. So the amortization gain is $67,000. Because you can't forget that you're buying your home at the same time. So is it really $28,000 better? The answer is no. It's actually almost $40,000 better to buy that home because you're actually putting equity into that home. But that's not even including a $289,000 appreciation gain. Of course, we're going to anticipate a cost to sell and then a tax benefit as well. If you click on show results, well, Mr. and Mrs. Client, the net gain of buying that home is $295,000 after 9 years. Now, if you're going to be in the home for a year or two, okay, rent. But if you're going to be in the home for longer than that period, why in the world would you not buy this home? Look at the financial opportunity that's ahead of you. Show me one person who would want to turn down $130,000 or $295,000 after 9 years, which is the average time somebody spends in a home anyways. But if they're going to be in that home for 10 years, look how the net gain then changes. Here's where you can start asking questions. Have you started planning for your kid's college? Have you started planning for your retirement? Well, how would this money help in planning for those things? Barry also gave another example. Kiplinger did a study. This study of net worth, and they were able to determine 2/3 of all net worth out of the people they had studied, for granted, came from real estate and home equity. 2/3 of their net worth came from real estate and home equity. And Thomas asked real quick, is this section included in the subscription? Yes, Thomas, it is included in the MBS Highway subscription. Everything that I'm going to go over with you guys today, aside from the Agent Connect, which is kind of as if you were to get the combo, everything that you're going to see, unless I say otherwise, will be included in what you guys currently have. Or if you guys are not members at the moment, if you were to subscribe, everything that you're going to see here will be included in that specific subscription. So to answer your question, Thomas, yes, it is included. So when you're done with this scenario, there's a few things, again, that you can do if you wanted to share this. First, you can do your traditional export, which we've got over already, but you can also do a save and share. So if I want to do a save and share, and I want to share this with my brother, Jake, and I want to share it with him, I can copy the link if I want to keep it simple. I can also put in his name and email address and send it out to him. But I'm going to go ahead and paste the link in my browser. Just for sake of example here, team, just imagine this is Jake's perspective. So I sent this to Jake, and now he's looking at this. So it's going to be Jake12345 This little sample email address. He's going to put in his information, and here's what he's going to see. It's going to say you present with your NMLS number this entire scenario. So he can't edit any of the values, but what Jake can do is he can click on the different years to see how the values would change. For instance, his cash flow difference, whether it's year 5 or whether it is year 10. And the best part about this is once Jake reviews this, you're going to get an email saying this. Your buy versus rent scenario named Jacoby was viewed by Jacoby with his email address, date, and time he had accessed it. You can see it's 3/22. He opened it at 3/22, and I got the email at 3/22. So it's instant. You will get it immediately. And what better time than maybe shortly after this to give Jake a call because he's viewing the information you sent over. And this is one of these pain points that, I've also talked to my sister Nicole about this. Again, I mentioned she's a loan officer, and, she's talked about, especially in the past, you would send something to your client and they would say, oh, yeah, I took a look at that or whatever it may be, kind of just telling her what they want to hear, kind of just to get her out of their hair, basically. And, this is a good way where you can stay on top of your clients, make sure they're viewing the important information that you're sending over. Now I'm going to come to the real estate section once again, and there's a couple things I want to mention real quick, and then there's one more thing I'm going to go over here. We have a bid over ask tool, which, some deals right now still require a bid over ask, some offers over the asking price. So we have a very comprehensive and very simple tool that you guys can take a look at there. We have an MBS estimate, which is similar to like Zillow's estimate, where we can actually give you an estimated value of your home as well as, or of a home, and as well as recent sales, what the homes are going for in the neighborhood, etc. Certainly something very cool that you guys should check out as well. But one thing I want to touch on is the investment property analyzer, especially kind of in the hour window that we have. And I want to leave time for questions. So I kind of want to get as much in as we can. I want to focus here on the investment property analyzer. So what makes investment properties awesome is, I think everybody innately kind of wants an investment property. They're not really sure how to get into it. What's the best way? What's the financial opportunity even? So investment properties make up about 1 out of every 6 transactions in the marketplace, about 16%. So if I go ahead and use that same example, actually, let me pull in the MLS number one more time. So if I go ahead and pull in the MLS number here, we can see the same 1203 First Avenue in Asbury Park as we saw on the other tools. And what we could do here is you can see it's got those same kind of drop downs as the other buy versus rent tool. So on this investor property, it's a $589,000 home. Let's just say we were to purchase this and we were going to rent it out. Well, we've already determined that the monthly rent is $39.71, 5% annual rent increase. And well, now we can include, well, is there going to be a vacancy? I can tell you right now, Asbury Park, New Jersey is right by the beach. Are you going to have a tough time finding somebody in there? Probably not. Is it something that could happen realistically? Sure, absolutely. So you can click in the box, select if there is a vacancy you want to contemplate. Now we have our property, all the same fields as we saw before, but we've added 2 new ones. Property management fee. So if you have somebody managing your property, it can be contemplated there, as well as an initial renovation. So if you do any work on that home, you can go ahead and put in the cost of that work into that section. Now, our loan. In this case, they're putting 20% down, 30-year fixed, 7.25%, no refinance again, and we have $17,000 in closing costs. Now let's go to the home ownership section. Everything like we saw before. In this case, it's 10 years before selling, and we're using the forecasted appreciation once again. A lot of people like to manage a appropriate cash flow when it comes to an investment property. In this case, our rental income is nearly $4,000, but our expenses are $4,700. We're losing $700 a month at year 1. Over the course of 10 years, we've accumulated a benefit of $26,000. Now you might say, well, the $26,000 is not too much of kind of a return or too much of a monetary, you're only making $2,600 a year if you were to spread it out over 10 years, but there's so much more to it than just the simple cash flow. However, we do have a full cash on cash analysis here. The estimated annual cash flow chart is also listed here. So you can see at one point, do I start making money and how much money am I making at these point in times? So if we scroll down again a little bit further, we can see, well, wow, the amortization gain is $64,500. Remember, they're paying our mortgage for us. Then we go to the appreciation gain, $330,000 after these 10 years. So let's scroll down just a little bit further. Our total return on our investment can be calculated by taking our rental income of nearly $600,000 and our appreciation of $330,000, giving us a gross revenue of $929,000. If we less our expenses of those $581,000, that'll give us our profit. So nearly $348,000 after these 10 years. If you were to kind of wanted to calculate your return on your investment, it's 295% return on your investment after these 10 years. And the average annual compounded return, because it's not as simple as taking this 295% and dividing it by 10, because there's compounding involved. So if you had $100, you got 5% rate of return. Now you have 105, but in the next year you're going to get 5% rate of return on $105. So kind of the same principle here. That gives you an average annual compounded return of 14.7%. And I want you guys to think about a scenario like this. You can click on all the different values, and another thing, bring up another thing Barry always mentions. If you were, let's just say you were looking for a financial advisor. You had somebody say, I can get you 5% a year. I can get you 6% a year. Say you're investing your money in stocks or bonds or whatever, maybe you get 5%, 6% a year. You had somebody tell you I can get almost nearly 15% on average return per year. You'd be one of the better financial managers in the world. And you can do this in this specific scenario, buy an investment property with a 7.25% rate and still get 15% average annual compounded return, where you're truly not making that much money every single month. But the power of the appreciation, the amortization, shows you how beneficial these investment properties can just certainly be. So that kind of sums up our real estate section. Again, if you guys, so Patrick asked, and you can get a cash out loan with no tax liability on that loan. Absolutely. So again, if you guys have any questions, please just throw it in the chat box or anything like that. I know that I'm going a little quickly, just a lot of stuff to cram into kind of an hour session, and I wanted to leave like 10 or so minutes for some questions after, but I'm super excited about this, and I want to bring you guys to our brand new loan comparison. So I'm sure a lot of you guys have been existing MBS Highway members or checked out the loan comparison before, but we've completely revamped it. I will say some of you guys might have it, but we've only rolled it out to like a select, like I think maybe 10% of our subscribers. But if you guys do want the loan comparison, you can email support at MBS Highway if you kind of see like what you see, and then it'll be something that can be added to your account, and it'll probably be done at this point and probably be done tomorrow if you email it today because it's a little bit later in the day. But if this is something that you guys want, certainly something that can be added to your account. So I'm going to go to the edit section first, and I'll kind of show you how I broke this down. And before I get started, Peter asked, are trainings available for list reports? So Peter, yes. So I don't think it's on the marketplace or on the LOS events tab yet, but Darren from List Reports, kind of one of the account executives there, is doing a training. I want to say it's June 14th. Don't hold me to it. I want to say it's June 14th at 2 o'clock. I don't know for certain, but I will make sure that it's added to the account. And Kathy asks, what is the address we can email to get the new comparison set up? So it's just, you can do support at mbshighway.com, or you can do support at highway.ai. As you know, we have brand new. Really, either one works, and just you can just say to them, I would send it to support at MBS Highway. If Doug, if he said June 13th, it may be June 13th at 2 o'clock. I don't have it offhand what he said. So yeah, June 14th at 2 p.m. So yeah, just next Wednesday is that specific training, as you guys can see in the chat box. But if you want the new loan comparison, for right now, since we're rolling it out, we kind of want it to be something that if people are really comfortable with the existing, we want to be accommodative as we're kind of making all the final touches and whatever before we do so. So if you guys want access to that, and also Doug, I'm going to show you guys Agent Connect, which is one of the new features. It's kind of more on the list report side in just a few moments as well. But let's get started with the loan comparison. So if I click on edit here, what it's going to look like is you're going to say, well, you put in your client's name. So I put in myself, the $500,000 purchase price, the annual property taxes already show up, and you can select what kind of appreciation you'd like. Now, what I went ahead and did is added 2 loans. So what we did is we anticipated the first option, a $450,000 loan amount, 30-year fixed. They're putting 10% down. The rate is 6.5%. And what we can see is all of the breakdown here. They're paying $5,000 in prepaid and escrows, $10,000 in closing costs. Then I also added a second option, but now they're paying points. Still a $450,000 loan amount, 30-year fixed, but now they pay 2 points to the cost of $9,000 to get the rate to 5.5%. I know it may not be the exact scenario of what it is today, but I just kind of want to show you guys the functionality of how it works, especially it being kind of a new revamped version of this. Now, if this was something you wanted to add a new loan, it's so simple. You see, I hit add new loan. You put in the name, the down payment. You want to put in the rate, the points, and you put in the rest of the information, confirm, and then you are done. And it's just as simple as that. So now we've completed the scenario, and you can see the entire breakdown right here. But let's review the report. So if I click on review the report first, you can see, well, here are some highlights to help make your decision. This is what your client's going to see. A couple of new things that we've also added, and we've had them before, but kind of directly that you can now do. And I know this should be something you guys should be really happy about. You can record a video directly of this, and also you can start a meeting directly from this page. So you can actually share the meeting, send the meeting through here directly to your client if you want to work with them directly. And it'll basically kind of just be almost like a Zoom call. It's not the Zoom platform, but it's just kind of a similar function. It'll be a screen share that you can get started. But here are some highlights. So if you want just the lowest monthly payment, option 2, paying points, is your best option because, well, you've paid points, rates 5.5%, so you're going to have a lower monthly payment. Now, the lowest total cash to close, option 1, and also the lowest cost loan option for the first 6 months is option 1. And Jerry says, can you add a buy down to the comparison? And absolutely. So if you were to come into the loan options here and add one, you just have to select what kind of option it is. So if you want to put an ARM, you can see we have a 1-0, 2-1, and also a 3-2-1 buy down that is included. So if we scroll down here, we can see, well, what's our lowest monthly payment, lowest cash to close, and what's the difference, and also the lowest cost through length of mortgage. So you can see, well, here are our differences and disparities. Then we scroll down here, we have our lowest cost loan snapshot. So, well, you can see, well, for the first 23 months, option 1 is cheaper. Beyond that, the second option is better for the length of the loan. Now, also, how much is your home going to appreciate? We kind of saw this a little earlier, but well, based on your estimated home value appreciation, that home's going to be worth $793,000 after these 10 years. So you can see here, well, we're going to take this home and it's going to start at year 0 here, and you're going to move forward. You can see how much that home is going to appreciate. And also an equity snapshot. So how much equity are you going to build into your home at whatever time period that you're going to look at. There's also another thing you can do. You can go to the loan details tab. So this breaks down each loan option at great length. Also, how long do you plan on owning your house? 9-year average residency is about 10 years. What we can see here, here's our lowest cost loan snapshot. So you can see, well, how much is each option at a certain point in time, and what's the difference? So you can see, well, from year 0 to year 2, option 1 is better. Beyond that, option 2 with lower rate will kind of be your best option moving forward. You can kind of see that highlighted here, and it'll show you the difference versus the lowest cost. So when you talk about how much have you paid to a certain point in time, well, here's your total, and here's the difference. So you've saved $37,000 at year 10 by doing that option 2, which is paying points. Now, if I were to go to year 5, the disparity gets shorter, but if I were to go to year 30, you can see it gets much larger. Then we also have our total monthly cost snapshot. So, if you want to see, well, how much am I paying each month and how is it broken down? That's certainly something that could be contemplated. And when you're done with this, again, you can send it, you can record a video, you can start a meeting, however you want to share it. But this is kind of our new revamped loan comparison. I hope that you guys kind of see some of the features. Again, it's a little bit more maybe comprehensive, and it's added a few new things than what we currently have. Probably might take you guys just a few tries just to kind of understand the ins and outs. And, if we weren't on such a, time sensitive time, I would go at deeper length. But if you guys have any questions, I can always go back to it, especially in the last 10 minutes. I want to leave some time for some questions there. You guys can always kind of get back to me there, and we can review this scenario again if that comes to it. But let me come back here, and I'm going to open up a debt consolidation real quick as well. We also do have a refi comparison tool, a property comparison, seller contribution, as well as, again, a debt consolidation, which I'm going to go over very quickly. We have a few scenarios that you can do. We have a move-up purchase, which is also very common, a purchase, and also a refinance comparison here. So we're going to do a refinance debt consolidation. So what we have, it is an individual with $14,000 in monthly qualifying income, an existing property that's located in Homedale, New Jersey, under the zip code 07733. And here's our existing property. So our existing property has a $500,000 purchase price. They bought this home back in June of 2019, and their home was appreciated $159,000 to $659,000. Then we have our existing loan. So they have refinanced in the past. This was in November of 2021. $373,000 is their loan amount. 30-year fixed. The rate is 3 3/3, and their estimated remaining balance is $363,000. Their monthly payment currently is $1,700. Now, here's where you would ask your client, well, do you have any debts? And in this case, they had 4 debts. And if you wanted to add any, you can just do it very simply. So if they had, say, a Target card and the balance was $2,000, I want to do something that's not super changing to the scenario. And I add that debt. It's $2,000 and their monthly payment is $100. And you can see how simple it is just to add a debt. We can see your ratios, and now we have a new proposed loan. So they have a 75 LTV, 30-year fixed, 6.5% rate. So they're nearly going up 3% in rate. And guess what? You got to pay $3,000 in closing costs once again. So I come over to the payment overview on the right side here, and we can see, well, here's our existing loan. Here's our principal and interest, taxes and insurance, our revolving, basically whatever our our debts. And also, and that leads us to $4,800 a month. That's how much you're spending with your credit cards and your mortgage payment. Now, with our proposed loan, well, you have $2,300 in principal and interest, and everything else is the same. So now you're paying $588 more. So you would say, well, does that really make any sense to do that? And I have to pay $3,000 in closing costs. Well, Mr. and Mrs. Client, you're at a 56 LTV. You're under by $128,000. You were to take some of that money out and you apply that to some of your debts. Look what happens when I just pay off that Visa. If I pay off the Target card, which is a smaller one, you can see we finally get into some green numbers. Pay the MasterCard, Discover, the Macy's. Your monthly savings are now $1,145. Keep in mind, you're making the same payment as you were before. Now you just have monthly savings of $1,145. And now we just asked, well, if you take that money, you apply that towards principal, you can even take some money out. Click on the pencil tool, keep some money for yourself if you like. But if you take that money and you apply it towards principal, which is the exact same payment as you were making before, you're going to be loan free in 14 years and 2 months. You save 14 years and 3 months on your existing loan, and you've increased your net worth by $230,000. And believe it or not, you're at a 3% higher rate than where you started. Existing loan, 341 payments left. Now you only have 170, so you've saved them half of their payments. 171 payments, you've saved them. And you can also kind of see the amortization schedule as well, and overall that increase in net worth. This is something that could be super life-changing for your clients, super simple and super helpful that maybe they didn't even know was possible, especially in today's environment. And this is something you guys can do with a move-up purchase as well, which is also very common. Let's come to the market section right here. And I just want to highlight a couple of things. We have Presentation Expressway, which are PowerPoint slides created by Barry, and they come along with a coaching video from him. So you can actually watch the video of him giving the presentation and go ahead and download it. And you can use these completely for whatever you would like to use them for. Additionally, we have Social Studio. One of the biggest kind of questions we get, or the biggest questions I get, especially when I've met some of you guys and, gone to some of, Barry's seminars, and, some of the biggest questions are, I'm trying to create kind of like a personality for myself on social media. How can I do so? How can I get myself out there? How can I share the information? And the way you can do so is using Social Studio. So, I want to take this one from a few weeks ago. What's next for mortgage rates and real estate? If I click on next, you can see the full script right here. You can use desktop or mobile mode. If I click on mobile mode, now just envision you prop up your phone to your monitor, or if you're doing this on your computer, you can also just use desktop mode, which allows you to record through your computer. However, my microphone is being used currently, so I couldn't do that. But if I click on scroll preview, you know what drives mortgage rates? It's not just the Fed, it's inflation. And all you have to do is read off the script, and you're able to create 40 to 60 second social media clips that you can then either edit or post directly onto your different social media platforms. I'm sure you guys have seen these everywhere. People are putting up these, even Barry's doing it now. You're seeing like these kind of, they have all like the text lit up and they're using graphics and they're sharing things to social media. And a lot of times you're able to do that. You can use these scripts, whether you're using the exact website to do it, but you can use the scripts, you can share it. This is all free for your, all available for you guys in your current subscription that you guys can then use. And when it comes to the last thing on MBS Highway itself that I want to show you guys is how can you set up like your header, because that's something very important. So you guys can start sharing things, co-branding things. And if you click on custom settings right here, here's your header settings as well as your co-brand settings. So if you want to create your own, put in custom header. And if you're going to co-brand it, co-brand header right here, that'll allow you to add your co-brand partners. Now, that kind of sums up our MBS Highway training here today. Another thing I wanted to touch on with you guys, and I know a lot of you guys that recognize your names have also subscribed to List Reports. And we do have a bundle deal, and I know a lot of you guys are with MBS Highway already, but for those of you who are not, if you are interested in MBS Highway, $87.50 a month, or maybe 80, I think it's listed for $87.50. Or maybe $87.95. I don't know exactly what it's listed for on the LOS marketplace, but if you were to do the bundle, if you wanted the bundle of both platforms, it's $219 a month. So usually what costs for MBS Highway is $200 a month, and for List Reports it's over $300 a month. And in bundling them together, you get it for $220. So essentially for the cost of MBS Highway standalone, you're getting both platforms. And we're excited to introduce a new tool called Agent Intel Connect. So we currently have something called Agent Intel right now, which basically allows you to see kind of directly the production of realtors, where they're doing business, etc. So I just have a couple of slides here, and I want to show you these real quick. But Don asked real quick, where do you go for the debt consolidation? Go to Loan Advisor and debt consolidation right here. So, if list reports is something that interests you guys, I certainly recommend you check out the training on June 14th at 2:00. And this is something that Darren's going to go over as well with you guys. But I wanted to touch on this Agent Intel Connect because this is something new. And for those of you that are with list reports ready, it's going to be added to your account. And those of you who are interested in checking it out, you should have gotten an email. You can take a trial. It is available for the Agent Intel Connect right now. So if it's something you're even, say you just have MBS Highway now and you want to check that out, it might be worth checking out, but prior to Darren's meeting next week. So if that's something you're interested in, after I kind of show you a few slides, here's what you can go ahead and sign up for that trial. So it's going to kind of go along the line here. And, all you need to do is once you get this Agent Intel Connect, you just need to text the name of your realtor. So in this case, our realtor is Allison Smith. So once you put in her name, we'll use AI to zero in on the right realtor based on where you guys do loans. And you'll get an immediate response. So you can see kind of how this looks. So before going any further, Amy says, so we can get MBS Highway list reports and Agent Intel Connect, correct? 3 things. So Agent Intel Connect operates separately. So the answer to that, Amy, is yes. If you get the combo, it comes with all 3. Agent Intel Connect, if you already have list reports though, if you have a list report subscription and you have Agent Intel, it comes free with Agent Intel Connect. It's something that we're basically adding to Agent Intel. So for list reports, and for those of you guys who are familiar with it, there's 3 different membership options. There's Elite, there's the Elite Plus Agent Intel, and now we're adding Agent Intel Connect, which is essentially the mobile version of what is currently already there. So this is going to come something that's included, and this is something brand new that we're rolling out that you guys can try. But to answer your question, Amy, in simple terms, the answer is yes. All 3 things will be included in that combo pricing. So for that $219, you're going to get MBS Highway, the full encompassing platform of list reports, and this brand new Agent Intel Connect that we're adding on. So you get an immediate response. So it says we found one Allison Smith, says total buy size and also her buy side volume. To go to the next tool here, here's her transactions. You can see her buy side stats, list side stats, and what type of loans is she doing? Is she doing conventional? Is she doing FHA, VA loans? You can kind of see that breakdown there. Is it something that kind of fits you? Come to the next tool here. Check out your competition. Is she working with family, or is she just kind of working with nearby people? Is she working with your competition? Who is she kind of working with? What kind of companies is she with? Then you come to the next tool here. You can see, well, here's the active listings. So she's got 2 active listings right now. You can click on those active listings and share some essential points as well. If there's no active listings, well, don't worry. We're going to find one of her previous active listings and be able to share some resources about that as well. So once you decide to do so, you can actually contact her. You can send her what we call a smart email. You can send a full bundle, which could include a real estate report card, buy versus rent analysis, investment property analyzer, appreciation report. And you go to right here, and what it does is it actually creates the email for you. So have you spoken to Audrey before or Allison before? No? Yes? Well, if you have, okay, well, hey, I've never spoken to her. Hey, I don't know her. So let me type this in here, and it's going to create an email for you. And what address are you referring to? Go to the next tool here. So let's make the connection. So, hey, Allison, I want to introduce myself and show you how I've helped top performing agents gain more listings. And this is kind of what it's going to look like. And you can, so I've created an open house flyer, real estate report card, invested property, buy versus rent. And I know that I'm going into deeper detail, but this is very quick, very fast. It's something you don't even have to really think about. Hey, let me text Allison Smith. I looked her up. I see her information. I see where her transactions are. Let me send her one of these reports. You're going to get the real estate report card, the buy versus rent, a investment property or appreciation data. All of this is what you guys can share with them. And you know what? Where does she do business? So 86% of her business is in the area of activity that matches yourself. So you can also see here on the left side, you can see, well, how many of her transactions are you doing, how many loan officers is she paired with, and also, what's her email, her contact information. You can also invite her to your own platform. So you share, in this case, you share areas of her with Orange, Anaheim, Tustin, and Garden Grove. So Lori asks, is a realtor able to change lender partners if the realtor is partnered with list reports with another lender? So it's a little bit like tricky. A lot of times predominantly you're only partnered with one. When you have serious questions, and to be completely transparent, all the list reports questions, and when it comes to their direct partnership, like you can partner with as many agents as you specifically want. When it comes to them, it's a little bit more particular. But when Darren does his meeting, he's going to be a little bit more keen. This whole thing is still new to me, and everything's kind of new stuff. And this is still in kind of like a trial phase where you guys are getting. So you can play around with it, but to the best of my knowledge, Lori, I think for the realtor, it's a little bit they can change, but I think they can only really be partnered to one at a time. Then we can see what's their network. So if you're paired with them, well, they work with Audrey at Keller Williams, or they work with Audrey at this specific address. So you can follow up with them. We give them things that you can, well, I'm gonna, reach out to this person. What's something I can connect on? Well, I can connect on, they've worked with Audrey before. Audrey's somebody I've worked with. We can kind of make that connection. We can see their exact active listings. They've worked with 4 loan officers. Who have they worked with? They have 10 buy side, 10 total transactions, 6 buy side, 6 list side, 4 buy side. Well, how does that work? What type of transactions? Oh, they're also in the top 15% of agents in Los Angeles County. Well, Los Angeles County is massive. There's a lot of agents there. Well, maybe I can say, you know what? Hey, Audrey, or hey, Allison, congrats. I see you're in the top 15% in agents all of LA County. That's awesome. I'd love to work together. Here are our open houses. Let's access those. So this is kind of just like a quick little demonstration. We try and give you guys all of the information, all of the insights where you guys can be prepared. You guys can be utilized, because you know what? A lot of people is not as simple as, a lot of people are used to, let's bring in some donuts, let's do this. But in this case, you're able to make a true connection. You're able to understand the type of business they're working in, the type of, the business that they are doing, and also kind of, how much business are they doing? Are they cheating on you? Are they working with somebody else when, you're supposed to be having their business? You can see, who they're working with, etc. So this is something super cool. And if this is something you guys want, whether it's MBS Highway, which I went over today, if you want MBS Highway, that's the $87.95 listed on LOS Marketplace right now. List reports itself is something separate. If you want that separately, it's $159.95 separately. You can get that. You want to combo them, usually basically a $500 value. So $500, but you get that for $219, and you're getting a brand new tool in this, as well as a brand new loan comparison that we've done. There's really, this is kind of like a broken record phrase, but there's truly no cost to you if it makes you money. And that's our goal. And I appreciate Nexa. Renato's worked so diligently with us. Mike has been such a great friend of ours. And we're just trying to provide value for you guys. And thankfully, they kind of see that same mission that we have. And Zane and Lori, thank you so much. And Marlene, thank you so much for the kind words. And I hope that this stuff is something you guys can check out. And even if you guys currently have MBS Highway, which you kind of signed up for today, you should have got an email saying you can sign up for a trial for this AI Connect. So sign up for that trial. That's not going to hurt you. And then Darren's doing a webinar next Wednesday, 2:00. Either register for that or go watch the recording and see if this is stuff that you believe truly can bring you some value, because I'm glad that a lot of the folks and a lot of you guys truly see that. So Don, thank you so much for the helpful for the kind words. I'm here to take any questions. I have 8 minutes before this is supposed to be wrapped up, so I wanted to give some time. Thank you, Tatiana. I appreciate that. So if you guys have any questions, I'm here to take them. Throw them in the chat box, and most importantly, thank you so much for the kind words. And Jerry asks, can a video be added to the refi comparison? So with the refinance comparison, since it's on here currently, we have an existing screen recording and screen share. We've just kind of revamped that specific loan comparison on the purchase side. On the refi side, you'd have to use our existing screen recording or screen share, or a lot of times people will do a Zoom. So the actual purchase comparison is what we've just revamped, and like I said, it's really only available to like 10% right now. And all you guys have to do is email support and then they'll add it onto your account for you. But at least temporarily, you're going to have to use the screen recording and sharing, or, a lot of people will use Zoom or whatever it may be and just record it there. So Kieran says, I'm new to the industry. I keep hearing about total cost analysis, which I heard is another vendor. Is there a tool? Is there a similar tool with MBS Highway? So if I'm being completely honest, Kieran, I'm not too familiar with their total cost analysis tool. So I'm not exactly sure what the functionality of their tool is in order for me to kind of reference your point. Somebody may have a deeper understanding kind of on the Nexus side, but I'm not too familiar with the actual total cost analysis as far as it being another vendor. So I'm not too kind of sure on what their, kind of offer is there. Oh, so if you're saying, okay, so he says with the co-branding, can it be multiple realtors? So you can add realtors onto the platform. So, okay, so Zane, if it's the loan advisor tool, so then it's the same thing in the purchase comparison refi. There's a cost of waiting analysis, property comparison, seller contribution. There's several different kind of tools in that sense. And then, but he says with the co-branding, can it be multiple realtors? If you're referring to one specific tool, Kieran, no, but you can add different realtors and export them separately. So you can add, as many realtors as you want onto the platform when you can add them as your co-brand partner. There is a RESPA compliance fee of $20. It's not our fee. It's just for compliance. But when you add them to the platform, what you can do is you can then add as many as you want. And then you want to do a real estate report card with John Smith, you do that. If you want to do a buy versus rent with Allison, you can do that, but you can add several on there. Just fast, on the buy versus rent scenario, are there down payment funds accounted for in the cash flow difference? So let's take a look here at the buy versus rent. Let's use a smart search. So a down payment funds accounted for in the cash flow difference. So I think it's just simply showing the cash flow difference. If it were to be contemplated in something, it would probably be in the amortization gain, because it goes towards buying your house, Joseph, because it's your own money. So, but your down payment itself in this case, it really wouldn't be, it wouldn't be contemplated. It'd only be contemplated in your total. Actually, it might be, because your total cash flow. So Brian asks, what was the third option again? There's with list reports, Elite plus Agent Intel, and there's also Elite plus Agent Intel and AI Connect, which I showed you, Brian. However, since you guys are, and through the LOS platform, since it is all interconnected now, when you guys sign up with the combo, there really is no like three options. You get the full package no matter what. If you were to, for instance, if you were to sign up for list reports, and let's say you wanted Elite, that's $150. If you wanted Elite plus AI, that's an additional $150. So that gives you the total cost of $300. So that's why the deal of, $159, if you wanted that specifically, is $140 off. But if you wanted MBS Highway and list reports, say if you were to get them standalone, that's, it'd be basically $500 per month, but now you're getting it for $220 per month. So you're getting a $280 discount per month in that sense. But those are the three different platforms they have, Brian. If you're just kind of asking for what the different options are, Elite plus AI, and then Agent Intel Connect is going to be included in Agent Intel and AI itself. So it's going to be one unanimous thing. You got it, Brian. Do you guys have any other questions? I don't see any more in the questions box, but thank you guys so much for taking the time with me. I know you guys have a busy schedule and doing a late afternoon on a Thursday. And so Jerry said, is there a training set up on the closing cost template? So it kind of depends on the tool you're referring to, because, oh, you got it, Tommy. Thank you so much, brother. And if you were to do it, because since the loan comparison is new, the one that we have, it's not going to be set up on there. But if you were to do it on here, when you go to the training, the actual help video, there's going to be mentioned on that. But when you go to the use worksheet, you can see all you have to do is just put in all of the fees, all of the information, and it'll take place there. However, if you want like an actual in-depth training, you can always reach out to us, or I could set something up with you, Jerry. Otherwise, you can watch the help video, kind of see if that suffices, because they are going to mention that the closing cost worksheet is available to you there as well. But again, I hope that answers your question, Jerry. Otherwise, you can always reach out to me or reach out to our support, and we'd be happy to just kind of give you a little insight on it as well. But I'm not in any rush. I'm here to take questions. I know we're approaching 4 o'clock, but it's no big deal for me. You guys, if you have any questions, please put them in there. But again, I hope you guys were able to take something away from this. I hope you guys are excited about this, and I hope to see some of you guys joining the platform, if not just throughout the platform and utilizing it if you're already current members. Thank you, John. Thank you, Anne Marie. Thank you so much. Thank you, Demorse. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate you guys. And Sam, thank you for being a accommodative host. I appreciate that.
Anytime.
Thank you, guys. It doesn't look like we have any questions, so I'll go ahead and stop my share here. And Sam, do you know how this is getting shared to everybody? I don't really know how the LOS platform works. Does the recording just show up on there?
Yeah, so it was a live stream on YouTube. We're gonna have a link to it so people can watch it after too. And we're going to be sending a text message or an email with the link as well for everybody that assisted, so they can rewatch it if they want.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
Have a great day, guys, and have a great day, Sam. Thank you guys again.
Bye. Thank you, guys.